So today I had to go to the dealership, the car dealership, to get um pretty much my car was making some weird noises, right? So the transition didn't want to it didn't want to push some RPMs past 3K sometimes. It was doing weird transmission shit, so I had to go take it to the dealership. Um, and so as I was sitting at the dealership, I took it as like a kind of like I was there since it's currently 2 o'clock. I was there since like roughly around 10:30, I want to say. And now that I'm kind of like thinking about it, kind of like went by. I spent a lot of the time drawing, listening to books, YouTube, um, or like listening to like people speak about like mindful things on YouTube. But I had a moment where I was just, I just kind of like stood outside and just kind of like embraced the moment, and like right next to my future car, I should say my car, with the 400Z. I currently drive the 2016, but I want the 400Z, but I stood there and next to one, I just embraced and just thought about my life. I was it's the same town, you know, um, and just recognized that I was kind of like gifted with the moment in time to be able to just sit down, or just to be able to just stand in there, just stand there and embrace this moment, embrace the sunlight, embrace the trees, embrace the sound, the peaceful motion of life, and there was other people here with me that I could, understand that they're going through the same things, um, I'm sure around the world, when it comes to cars. I was a kid and I used to love cars, but now I have like a love-hate relationship with them because they never seem not to have problems, or maybe I'm just a shit owner. So, but yeah, I just had a nice moment where I just kind of embraced not I embraced not being able to do anything. You know what I mean? And I embraced kind of like, I guess you can say I embraced the boredom, and I used it to maximize the best out of it, and pushed myself creatively by like drawing, and pretty much like so they come back. The lady comes because I'm getting a diagnosis to figure out what's going on, and she comes back and she's like, "Yo, your car, it needs like a gutter flush, and the transmission. Those both cost around um like 500. I think the gutter was like 565, and like the transmission was like, I think like 485, 500. And she was like, to get all that done, like it costs around like $1,000, right? So I'm like, okay, like that's cool, like that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like so I'm already thinking, I'm like, all right, that's a lot of money, but at the same time, like, I'm set. I purposely came today because I got paid to be able to get that done. And but I had to pay today. It was just like $250 because of the consultation and the oil change. And so pretty much I got to the car, right? And or my car, and I get in, and I start driving, and I took a longer way home because it's been a while since I had driven my car. Where I work, I can just walk, and so when my car started having the problems, and I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't know if it was safe to drive and or to push it or this and that, I just let it be until I had the money to be able to, I securely knew that I could just go to the dealership, and if there was something I could pay for right then and there, I would have the money to be able to pay for it. And so, but like that things where I have to make appointments, and I couldn't just get it worked on today, unfortunately. I would have stayed a little bit longer, but it's 2 now, and I think their operations stop around like 4 or something. Um, so I probably wouldn't even have like time to do it. But pretty much like uh driving at home, I it still had like the little transmission problem, but it didn't have it like as like bad as it did on the way back, like or on the way there to the dealership. Like I felt like it was weird because like inside, I had felt that like my car was fixed. You know what I mean? Like I just felt like it was good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I noticed like the problem was kind of still there, but it wasn't in the way of making the car drive this time. Because before I would have to like there was times where I would press on the gas pedal and like it wouldn't even want to fucking respond to me. You know what I mean? So like, um, and so but it responded every time. I like got to understood it, and it was like, I guess something about me like taking the steps of me going there and doing that, growing, learning, using my time, and like, um and then just feeling deep down that my car is fixed. Like it was just weird. Like my car was driving kind of, pretty okay, on the way back. I was just, thinking about like what I was gonna do to it, which what process do I want to go with it, and which would I want to attack first. But and I was also listening to the book The Artist Way, as well, on the way back home. So because I started it while I was at the dealership. So but yeah, I just, it was just strange. It was weird. I just felt like it was fixed. I don't know. It was like a weird uplifting feeling that I couldn't like rub away. You know what I mean? It was consistently there, and like I know like some people could like listen to this and be like, oh, that sounds delusional, but like I just kind of have a knowing that like I would like everything would be okay. You know what I mean? Like everything would be straight, and like I have like full on like belief in that. So because everything seems to work out for me 100%. I've like realized that pattern in my life. So this car issue was like nothing. Like now I just know. So it's just a matter of fact. Now it's just a matter of like um obtaining, let's get in, securing, you know what I mean? And so like, and I know exactly how to get, I just ask, you know what I mean? I literally ask for the money to be able to get it done, and therefore I will receive the money. And I just don't know how to explain it, but I just know. And that's just having utmost like faith within like my own spirit, you know what I mean? And in my own life. Also like being a testimony to that, like experiencing it all the time in my life, you know what I mean? Like I always, even when it seemed like impossible, I always seem to just like get what I want. So pretty much like I just want to go ahead and call that out now, you know what I mean? Like you I just always seem to get what I want. And I think that's like a product of like always believing that I always will find like a way to um I always find a way. And I feel like I've noticed that, around me, like in my peers and stuff, that they tend to worry about like they tend to look at the mountain and like stress about the mountain, and not like really look at themselves and be like, okay, what do I have, like who am I, and like why does this, you have to like kind of look at it as like, why does this mountain think that it has the means to be able to challenge me when I've like there's there's a fucking heap of mountains behind you dead, you know what I mean, like crumbled, like a tit of. So what is this mountain like really think it's amount up to you, you know what I mean? Like you kind of have to look at it like that, because like humans, first of all, like as an evolution, as a species, was able to survive. So that's like that's like a mountain too. Like that's nature, you know what I mean? That's damn right outliving and facing nature. And then when there was like beast and like animals faster than us, so many, even now, like there's still things like more poison than us, and you know what I mean, then we still have to be wary of, but at the same time we still create means and find ways to be able to triumph. So um so if as a species we're able to, conquer that, and be on top of the food chain, then what makes you think that you can't conquer some simple like rent, no, or like I know that you stress about it and everyone has their means, but if you take a step back, because you're looking at it way too closely, you know what I mean, your problems way too closely, you're trying to analyze it way too closely, you take a step back and then you realize that maybe if I just like let go of it, then like you start to realize that like, one, it's like you'll be dead in about 300 years, and two, you're stressing over I get how important it is, don't get me wrong, I get how important it is, but you're stressing over the means for someone else's gains, realistically. And so when you cloudy up your mind like that, you don't allow yourself the chance to be able to feel okay about the situation. I feel like the common misconception that we have is that when problems arise, we automatically associate them with negative feelings, you know what I mean, like anxiety, sadness, anger, worry, instead of just acknowledging that it is just a motion of life, a different picture, a different face, a different costume. It's like, it's crazy that we are, I'm gonna take it into this consideration, right? It's crazy that like we like, like preppy, like I'm taking, okay, yeah, better example, Michael Jackson, right? Michael Jackson. So back in, when he dropped Thriller, right? I think that's what the album was called, Thriller. So Thriller, he was like the soft golden child, like never would do anything wrong type of face, he was like the Boy Scout type of look, you know what I mean, high pitched voice and stuff like that. But then 4 years later, whenever he 4 years, or I think around there later, whenever he dropped Bad and switched up to his own style, you know what I mean, like it's literally named Bad, so like good to bad, both people love, and my personal favorite is the Bad version of Michael. Like that fit is crazy. The tour was crazy. That's where like, most of my favorite songs are from that album, notably like Dirty Diana, which is like my sister's favorite, and my favorites like for a long time was Leave Me Alone, which it really honestly is like still the top favorite for me. And but my favorite right now is like Human Nature for sure. But so but people loved it, like, you know what I mean, it's just a different style, just a different phase. So take that into consideration when you think of your problems, right? It's just a different form of life presenting to you, that's it, you know what I mean. And like, and then if you take it as like a disgrace or when you ridicule it, you just, like you worsen the you add more mud around the situation than it needs to, you know what I mean. Like I like to think of life as an abstract painting, because you can add and see so many things to it, and that's how I draw it, honestly. And so I guess that makes sense of why I think of it like that. And so you can see it in so many different ways and think of different meanings to it, and you could think it's good, you could think it's bad, you could think it makes sense, you could think it's fucking nonsense. Regardless, it's up to you. And it's really just what I paint and what I draw, I really should say, it's just a reflection of your own brain, and of, I guess, my brain too, you know what I mean. Like I love it whenever people see my drawings and they're like, oh my god, like they see this and they see that and it's the same drawing. Like two to three, 4 people see totally different things, and I just drew one thing. So like in one art piece I drew many, you know what I mean. And in that form I'm able to interact and to contact and to touch many. like spirit wise. Don't be weird. And so like, um, yeah, I feel like that's with my with my current development of my spirituality and my creativity, I've been able to be able to look at life a little bit more differently and a little bit more artistically, and understand more about what we go through. You know what I mean? Like, if you understand that, if you take into consideration that you did come down here by a choice, but yes, you did come down here by your choice, but again, everything around you that is happening isn't your choice, then you have the agency and the choice to determine if certain occasions in your life, certain things that happen, is good or bad. And therefore, when you make it, it shall be. You know what I mean? Like, as a man thinketh. You know what I mean? Like that term again, that analogy again. So, so yeah, just when you, because you gotta remember, like, a famous, like, lesson that I'm learning right now, and it's like every gift, every problem has its gifts. You know what I mean? It comes with its own prizes, comes with its blessings. And so when you look at it as, okay, what is life trying to give me, what is life trying to prep me for, it turns, you start to see what you see the beauty and the ugly that you thought that you were looking at, and then you start to realize, like, oh my god, like, maybe this isn't as ugly as I thought it was. And you start to see, and you start to really understand that you truly have the power, the magic to make art within yourself, and beauty lies in the beholder, right? Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, right? So you start to be able to understand that phrase, and you start to be able to look at just simply fucking water hitting, like, just water moving, and be like, wow, like, that's beautiful, you know. At least that's how it's been for me for the past year. So yeah, I don't know, that was my experience at the Nissan dealership. So I know it's like a deeply profound one, like, over and but I just felt like I needed to speak on it, and so here I am. You know, it's good to follow those nudges. I've noticed that the more that I follow nudges and my own, like, mind and my own will, when I separate myself from anxieties and judgmental thoughts, I tend to enjoy my life more, because a lot cooler things happen, and I start to enjoy the experiences that I do and that I have in my life, because it's like more welcoming, you know. It's cherished more. The days and the moments and the seconds and the milliseconds become a lot more potent, and I feel as if now I'm just like, I'm still student to this whole thing. I'm still very young, and I'm still yet to understand exactly, like, what I'm doing with myself, and how I'm reprogramming my mind, and how I'm becoming a lot more comfortable to say that, like, more about my spirituality, and being able to talk about it more, and not have to worry about, like, oh my god, like, do people think I'm fucking crazy when I speak about it? But, like, I find my people. If I don't, then I'll just stay uniquely me. So but yeah, it's just one of those things. So I guess, like, I told I had, like, a new hire at my job, and I pretty much told him, I was like, he's an artist, and I was like, yo, you gotta, like, start believing in your magic more often, because you have these ideas that you want to do and pursue out, but you consider them as, like, a wishful thinking, a wishful thought. Like, I told him to take them a lot more seriously, and he seemed so inspired by it. He was just like, wow, like, I never really thought about it, like, in that way. And I have a feeling now that, like, he sold, like, it's a kid, like, he sold his PS5 just to be able to be more focused on his creativity. So he's obviously serious about it. So I'm glad that my words helped him, because those are like teachings that I had to dig and go through experiences and live myself to be able to confidently speak to him. And so, but I am blessed to be able to be that vessel and to host those experiences, to be able to teach those to people, so they don't have to go through trials to have to learn those, you know what I mean, on their own. So no complaints here, and I feel like I asked for it anyways. I learned best by experience. So I know that sounds scary to like a lot of people, even to me when I just said it, like a little fear in my chest and my body just went through, but it really is just how I am. So I've learned to not like let that stop me and let that create paranoia and fear into my life, as to like, oh my god, I'm gonna have so many, again, quote unquote, bad things happening to me to teach me and have me grow. No, I asked. That's what I did last year. Like, I guess I intuitively, but didn't know exactly what I was asking for like last year when I said it. But I guess what I was asking for last year was to be able to no longer fear life experiences to grow. So I asked for experiences to grow, and all year, all I got was just straight experience that knocked on every single like flaw of my character. And it taught me resilience, it taught me love, most importantly, it taught me discipline, it taught me compassion, and it's teaching me so much more. So like, I don't feel like I'm done. I don't feel like I'm done on that wish yet, but like, they say to be careful what you wish for, but then again, here I am, like, thriving. You know what I'm saying? Like, thriving being my own Sisyphus, thriving being my own Christ, carrying my own cross. So, but yeah, I don't know. That's where I'm at. That's just where I'm at. That's what I got to. That's where my thoughts, I guess, went to. That's where I learned from the dealership, I guess. The lesson for today. You know what I mean? So there is always like a lesson anytime that I speak. I do, because I learn something whenever I do speak. So I say that knowingly. So whatever you got, that's your lesson. So hold on to it and ponder on it, for sure. Life loves a philosopher. That's what I have learned. Unless you're Nietzsche. And yeah, you better stay grounded. Make sure you stay grounded. Do not lose yourself in your head. You gotta have both. As within, so below, right? Or no, as above, so below. Sorry, as within, so without. So you have to have both. Okay, like, you make sure you touch grass every now and then, as much as you imagine yourself meditation of touching grass, and to go through life experiences, because you are alive. Like, yes, I know, like, a lot of it's like, and I'm speaking this really for me, like, yes, like, a lot of it's like mental and everything intuitively, but like, experience life more. Make sure you touch that side, even like, even if it's just like walking or skateboarding or doing something like riding a roller coaster to feel a thrill. Don't do stupid things to feel alive, but like, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, all right, I'm gonna stop talking. Ciao.